Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Wednesday, the 26th of June 2019. So, yesterday, bonds, Bitcoin, bullion jump, stocks dump on Powell pullback, trade talk. Yes, so Powell at the Council on Foreign Relations yesterday put Trump in his place and reduced the odds of a reduction in interest rates at the July FOMC and the impact on the market. As you will see here, if we go to the daily chart of the Dow, the market moving lower yesterday. Started off in the pre-market session okay, the market moving to the upside, not by a great deal, just over about 70 points there, 80 points from this low to this high, and breaking above the 200 bar moving average. But this was short-lived as the market opened, and they sent prices down 150 points there. And then really it was a case of the market coming back up and bouncing off the 50 bar moving average and then moving lower once more. Then the 20 bar moving average, as you can see here. And then overnight prices have been sideways and are currently, we'll just drag the chart over, below the 200 bar moving average, which you'll see is tucked away there. And prices need quite a bit of work to get up to this level at the moment, about 70 points there as well. So today's news, see if we've got anything that will move the market. There's nothing really. We've got durable goods at 130. After that, when the market's open, there's nobody speaking. There's no other news. There's a bit of UK news as well. We've got the inflation to report hearings. That won't really make a lot of difference to the market either. So in the pound for yesterday, this rallying to begin with above the 200 bar moving average, and then this also fizzling out, and then once we broke the 200 bar, you can see how the market came back, had a look at it at the DP level, and then continued lower there. And overnight, the pound continuing to move lower there, below the DP, below the 200 bar, and below all of the other averages as well, and continuing to move to the downside. So we've got a retracement going on in the daily chart. So what I would be inclined to do is just to mark up a few retracements. We'll go with the main one actually at 12572. See if the market trades down to this. The inflation reports may help it, may not. We'll see at 9:30, but I would imagine not to be the case at all. And then let's just have a look at the implied volatility. 1349. This should increase. Yeah, 1380, and moving to the upside there because the underlying market moved to the downside, something that we spoke of yesterday where we had that divergence between the underlying and the implied volatility, and it seems it was borne out yesterday with the Dow moving lower there. Meanwhile, Deutsche Bank managing to hold in the hourly chart above the 200 bar moving average at the moment. Let's see what happens as we head into July with this. And another piece of news, actually, just before we get to Bitcoin, in this one, we'll just go to the top here. Yesterday I watched a video on Italy wanting to run another currency alongside the euro. And also they want their gold back, but Super Mario here has told them, your gold is ours. No surprise there from the bureaucratic institution that is the Eurozone. They have said that they can't have their gold back. So interesting. No doubt that's probably why they're trying to develop this other currency. If you have a look on the Money GPS, there is a link there to what they're doing with the currencies. Well, it's more of a bond at the moment as opposed to a parallel currency, but interesting nonetheless. There's no way the ECB are going to allow them to set up another currency to run alongside the euro, but interesting that they're taking this stance. As I've always said, the UK will never leave the the European Union. It will be one inside of it that will actually start to see it all fall apart. The European grand experiment of the euro, which is not a reserve currency, and the debt inside of the European Union is colossal as well, under target to have a look at this. And then, of course, Super Mario spoke last week about reducing rates, further negative rates, and starting up the printing presses again. So it says it all, really, as far as this grand experiment of trying to unify all of these different economies, different manufacturing or tourist travel or whatever, and trying to overlay a single template for inflation and interest rates. It simply is not going to work in the long run. There's no way it will, because there'll be stronger economies and weaker economies, and all sorts of different cultures inside of these economies as well. But there you go, that's an aside. Bitcoin. This continues to move higher overnight. The market has blasted to the upside once more. In the weekly chart, you'll see that we went through the 11,771 that I've spoken about, and we're heading up nicely here, back to the all-time highs. So let's just put in a few more targets here. So the next upside target, let's remove this one, is 14,375 in the weekly chart for this market. So it'll be interesting to see if the market can manage to do this, but it's certainly going back to the all-time highs. There's no doubts about that at the moment. You can see how much momentum this market's got behind it at this time. If you look at the intraday chart, you will see there that prices have got a lot of volatility in them this morning. Prices moving around hectically there as the traders come in to start having a look and taking positions there. So watch out for a big shakeout that we've seen before to the downside, and then gather and then move back to the upside. That seems to be the pattern in this market that we've seen over the last few days, as you can see here. And as we move over to the right of the chart, yeah, so here you can see the shakeouts as the market's moving higher. This is just so that the big boys can actually buy back into these markets at a lower price. Watch prices coming back to the 200 bar moving average as well in these shorter time frames, as they seem to be good areas for buying opportunities as well. And there's another one there from the weekend. So that seems to be the pattern within Bitcoin at the moment. So like I say, keep an eye on this, because that's what is likely to be the case. And also very important, watch prices trading down to this level and an increase in volume. Okay, that will do it for this one. Not a lot of news today, so let's see how the Dow and the pound fare, but Bitcoin, a lot of volatility around here at the moment. And with that, as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.